Let's talk about making $100,000 a year as a freelance copywriter in your first year. Now, I say this because this is exactly what I did in my first year. I made $104,000, but I was a complete beginner. I knew absolutely nothing. And if I did know everything that I know today, I would easily double that. And because of this, in this video, I'm going to give you a full blueprint that you can repeat and follow and reach exactly the same success that I did. And if you've been in the game for a long time, this video will also be helpful to you to help increase your income potential. And if you stick to the end, I will also share with you 3 dumbest mistakes that I've made that might be actually keeping you trapped as well. Okay, so the first thing in this blueprint is to pick the right copy format. Now, this is something that not many gurus talk about, but if you want to make money as a freelance copywriter, you actually have to be good at writing copy and deliver really good results. I know this sounds obvious, but many people just don't share that. Now, the key here, you're getting paid to deliver results. But the key here is to choosing the right format as a beginner. Here's why. When you're starting anything new, you naturally will suck at it, right? You sucked at walking at some point, right? But now you don't even think about it. Now, when you are starting as a freelance copywriter, it is important that you choose a format that has a low learning curve and also high consumption rate. I'll explain what those mean, right? The reason for that is you want to learn the copy skill fast so you're able to charge a lot of money, which will allow you to get your $100,000 a year. But if you choose something wrong that takes a long time to learn, then guess what? You will most likely quit and you will never reach your goal. So there are 3 formats, right? There are sales pages and video sales pages. There's also the upsells and downsells. Then there's also medium copy format, which are Facebook ads, YouTube ads, and even advertorials. And then there is short format, which is the Facebook ads, which are text Facebook ads, and the emails. All right, so these are the options that you need to choose from as a beginner. So let's go over each one, and I will share with you which one is the easiest one and the fastest one that will allow you to get to $100,000 in your first year as a freelance copywriter. Now, this is important, so pay close attention because what I'm about to share with you is extremely important because it can either make your success or it can actually break your success and you will get stuck forever or worse yet, quit. The way to reach 6 figures in your first year as a freelance copywriter is to choose a format that has a low learning curve and high consumption rate. So let me explain what this means. Low learning curve is pretty self-explanatory. You want to choose something that is fairly easy to learn and adapt so you can start practicing and actually start charging people, clients, to pay you money. Now, the high consumption factor, what it means basically is you need to choose the type of copy that the client wants and more so needs every single month. Because there are some formats, for example, like sales pages and even the upsells and downsells, where the client would need maybe 4 times a year maximum, more so 2 to 4, right? Which basically means the reason for those is the client just writes one and they run it over and over and over. And sometimes they will make changes to the headline or the beginning of the page. And that's pretty much it, right? This means that even though you can charge upwards $20,000, which I've done multiple times, but what it means is because the client doesn't need it all the time, you will end up chasing clients and chasing projects, which will look like 1 month you're making $20,000 and then the next month you are making absolutely nothing. This is where the feast and famine comes in, right? For example, emails have a high consumption factor because the clients need emails and they need it every single week. This means that the client will pay you on a regular basis, which means you will be making money consistently and also your income will be stable. So now let's talk over the learning curve and we'll break down each format so you can actually see which format is easy and faster to learn so you can actually go and get yourself clients and start charging a lot of money and get to $100,000 a year. Okay, so let's break down. Now, the highest paying format in copywriting is actually text sales pages or video sales pages. Text sales pages is basically there's like a long sales page, like text of words, right? And it's we call it the text sales page, right? The video sales page is basically there is a video. Now, if you've never seen one, I'm going to put it on a screen so you actually see them, but those you can charge upwards to $20,000-$30,000 per one thing. I've done it. I've charged clients $20,000 to $25,000, right? But the problem with this is that learning how to write copy that actually delivers good results, and I'm talking, at least 2, 3, 4 times what the client paid you and does it over and over, you have to take a lot of time to learn it, to practice it, to the point where you actually feel confident that you can deliver good results, right? The other thing is, when I was starting out, it took me a whole month to write one sales page, which, yes, I was making $20,000 a month. But again, remember, it takes a lot of time. I'm focusing on just one project, right? Once the client pays me, that means that I have to go out again and hunt for the clients again, which means feast and famine. $20,000 one month, $0 the next 2, 3, 4 months. And you don't really want that, right? But today, yes, of course, it takes me, 3 to 5 days to write and, deliver results. But again, I started differently than the most. That's why today I'm able to write sales pages that are really fast and really good. And I can tackle a few projects a month like this. But again, remember, the most important thing is we have the very high learning curve, but also we have a very low consumption factor. That's why I don't think that starting with the sales pages and video sales pages is a good idea, right? Okay, then we have the media form copy, right? This could be also the YouTube video ads, those are advertorial, and even in a way sometimes could be the upsell downsells, although depending on the length, the upsell and downsell could be put into the long form copy, right? But that being said, when I think of these, I think about them being mini sales pages, which basically means exactly the same thing. The learning curve will be somewhat medium, right? You still have to master in writing those, right? You can charge $500 to $2,000 a pop for each. But again, remember, there's also the consumption factor. For these, consumption factor is on a lower side, especially for the advertorial and especially for the upsell and downsells, because with the upsells and downsells, you write it once. If it's working, the client is happy and they don't change anything. As a matter of fact, one of the offers that I wrote for myself and my business partner, what we did, we basically wrote the upsell path, right? So we have like a few pages and we just made a few changes here and there, and that's it. It's working. We're not even touching it because why would you, right? Which basically means, again, feast and famine cycle. You have a client one day, they're asking you, 1 month, they're asking you to do this thing, you write it, you charge $2,000, and then they're gone. Okay. Now, YouTube ads they have a higher consumption rate, but again, to write something really good, you have to learn and practice a lot. Okay. So the next and last one is email and Facebook ads. And I'm not going to beat around the bush. I do think that starting with the emails when you are new is the best and fastest way to get into $100,000. And I'm not saying because this is exactly what I did, because let's look at the consumption factor and learning curve, right? The learning curve, first and foremost, is very low, right? Emails are anywhere between, lengthwise 200 to 400 words, sometimes 500 words, right? But it's very easy to learn to write those, right? I actually recorded a video sharing the 5 tips, techniques that you can start learning today. So I'll put it somewhere here. Watch that video. It's going to be very helpful. That being said, very, very easy to learn. Now, another thing is, which is the consumption factor, that is very high because, again, the client needs it every single week and month. Email marketing is extremely important for a business because you have a list of people who either have purchased from you, right, then they're ready to buy again, or people who have been following you for some time and they want to buy stuff, but if they don't hear from the client, they're not going to do that, right? So with the emails, you have to constantly send them the emails and you basically making revenue, right, without having to spend on advertising again, which is really good for you as a copywriter because this is something that the business needs and they happily pay for it. Now, another thing about email marketing is you can easily charge between $2,000 to $5,000 per client. And you know what this means? It means that all you need is 2 to 3 clients a month to get to $100,000 a year. That's it. You will work on a retainer because client needs it all the time. You can charge $2,000 to $5,000. All you need is 2 to 3, clients, and you're good. Now, another thing that I love about email is that it allows you to get feedback, right? You write in bulk, you practice a lot. And the thing with the email is that not every email is going to be there to sell, right? A lot of the times is to build the trust, is to increase the value, and all the things. And because of this, if you write an email and it doesn't perform, the stakes are not that high versus with the Facebook ads. Yes, the consumption factor is high. Yes, the learning curve is lower, but the performance factor is huge because if you write something and it doesn't perform, the client client will either fire you or they will never hire you again, which what it means, again, we have feast and famine cycle where we're basically going around trying to find clients. And the most important thing is your confidence will tank and you will quit before you even have a chance to make your first 6 figures a year. And lastly, the reason I love email and starting with the email copy and email marketing is because you can then stack up the skills, right? You learn how to write the emails, you learn the sort of marketing tricks, you learn the psychology tactics, right? You learn what is the unique mechanism of a problem, of a solution, how to write the hook, the subject lines, and so forth and so on, right? Then you can expand your skill to writing the Facebook ads, learning how to write the sales pages, learning how to write the video sales pages, YouTube ads, and so forth and so on. Email marketing, email copy is kind of like this base, so to speak, right? Then you can build upon and then you can expand the skill. And by default, you can then expand your wallet. And this is exactly what I did. I started with the emails, then I added ads, then I added the sales pages, and now I can write entire funnels where I charge clients anywhere between $40,000 to $50,000 for the entire project. And for these reasons, I believe that email copy is the best format that you can choose as a beginner because you can learn this skill very fast in a very short period of time. And this is something that the clients need. So you are able to get your first client very soon. And then all you need 2 to 3 clients to get to $10,000 a month and then you get to go. But don't get me wrong. The email copy is the easiest way and the easier format to start with, but you have to be still really good. You still have to deliver results. Because of this sort of step of improving is the hardest step in this blueprint, but I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It is what it is. It's a new skill. You got to learn it. People are paying you money for the results. So you have to be able to deliver those results. Now, the thing is that all of the copywriters that are making $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a month, they actually are really good at what they do. The good news is that you can actually shortcut the process of learning if you want to, and you can join my community called Copy Continuum, where I basically share everything that you need to be able to get really good fast so you can get to your first $100,000 a year. But regardless if you join or you don't join, you still have to practice writing copy every single day. And this is the second step in this sort of blueprint. And to help you, I recorded a video sharing with the 5 steps, 5 techniques that you can actually improve. So watch that video. I already mentioned it, but I want to mention it again because it's a really good video and will help you a lot. Now, that's exactly what I did. Those techniques, I used them myself every day. I would practice for an hour. And then 3 months later, I had 3 clients that were paying me in total $5,600 a month, which was not a bad thing. And one of those clients, I worked with them for 2 years. I then coach their in-house copywriters and I work with 2 of their brands. Now, step 3 in this blueprint is to actually get paid to learn. This is the step that I tell my students all the time. And this is the mistake that I've made, which I'll talk in a second, but you have to get a client as soon as possible, even if this client is paying you absolute peanuts, because the reason for that is you're going to get feedback. Now, I'm not talking about feedback from somebody like myself who's been there before, who knows what good copy is. What I'm talking about is getting feedback from the real world, from the audience. People will be either opening your emails or not. They will be either reading them or not. They will be either clicking on the links or not, and they will be buying or not. All of that will allow you to start improving and seeing what's happening. It will kind of make you start thinking about yourself as a copywriter, not somebody who wants to be. And therefore, you're going to start acting like a copywriter. You're going to be trying to improve your skill, which then gets me to the point number 3, which is once you are getting paid, the next step is to basically skyrocket your progress, skyrocket your skill mastery, so to speak. And the way you do that is either by hiring a coach or by joining the community. Now, I'm not saying that because I am a coach and I have a community, whether you join or not, that's totally fine. But I'm saying that because I joined a mastermind and that helped me to accelerate my success so much faster. Yes, I was still landing clients without any help. Yes, I was still working my butt off. Yes, I was practicing every single day. But when I had a question that I did not know the answer to, when I was stuck, when I didn't even know, a way to sort of figure out how to, write a launch emails for a client, I had people who have been where I was, who knew more than I did, and I could go and ask their question, their opinion, and they would give it to me. So then I could learn faster and I could deliver my clients much better results. And because of that, I was able to go from charging $80 per email to $300 per email because of this, right? And obviously that allowed me to get to six figures in my first year as a copywriter. Now, the last step in the blueprint is to then stack up your skills. This is where the real money come in, right? You can basically, once you land the client with the email marketing, you can then upsell them to write the Facebook ads, to write the sales pages, the entire funnels, and you can continuously charge the client, 10, 20, 30,000 even a month. And all of that money comes from just one client, which means you don't have to go and search for clients and hunt for clients over and over again, which means stability of income, which is obviously is a great thing. Oh, and one last thing before I share with you 3 dumbest mistakes that I've made as a beginner is keep in mind, there are over 600,000 businesses, I think, open every year, at least in America, which means the pie is huge. Everybody can win. All you have to do is be good, practice every single day, and just don't quit. That's it. Now, having said all of that, let's talk about the mistakes that I've made that kept me stuck for the longest time. And they probably are keeping you stuck as well. Now, the first one is waiting the entire year before I started growing my business. Now, remember, any service-based business, such as copywriting, is a business of people. Business owners are first and foremost are people with businesses, which means they're people, right? And so they will too buy into your service when they know and like you way better and faster. Okay. Today, I have so many clients come to me telling me that the reason they reach out is because they've seen my Facebook posts, they've seen my interviews, and they can feel the love and care to what I do. They can feel the love and care and responsibility to working with clients. Now, I cannot do that through the sales call. I mean, I could potentially, right? But why would I do that if people come to me? I don't have to hunt for clients, right? And so growing your network from the very beginning is a really, really good idea. But it wasn't always like this, right? I remember back in 2020 when I just started, I heard somebody that I respected that using social media to land clients was the stupidest thing. And I listened to that. And now I know that listening to that advice was the stupidest thing that I've ever done. Or you don't have to start a YouTube channel. You don't have to share anything profound or anything like that. All you need to do is just start putting yourself out there. Start talking to people in different groups, right? Start chatting, like make connections on LinkedIn and all of that stuff, right? Share the things that you're learning right now as a beginner. That is totally fine. What people want to see is you first and foremost, but also the things that you're doing, right? Because remember, social media is meant to be social. So don't wait, start now. The sooner you start, the easier posting and sharing your stuff will be. But then once you start getting results for your clients, then of course you can share those wins as well. And guess what? 99% of the people who will buy and come to you to buy your services, they will not engage with your stuff, but they will see it. Now, the second mistake that I made was actually being super niche down. I come from a fitness background, right? I was a personal trainer. And so I basically started doing what I knew. I started reaching out to the personal trainers. And that was the biggest mistake because I realized quite quickly that those people did not have money to pay to people like me, copywriters, right? And so what I started doing, instead of just niching down and being like a hardcore fitness copywriter, what I decided to do is kind of get into like this generalized niche where I shifted my focus from being super focused on the fitness clients and I started doing this writing copy in the health niche and wellness niche. Now, this is a very huge niche, right? You have the supplements, you have the women's, care, you have the chiropractors, the dentists, like everything and anything. And so that allowed me to actually have a much broader, pool of clients that I can choose from, right? And can sort of hunt for and start working with. And it also allowed me to have different variety of the portfolio as well. Now, the third mistake was not raising my prices sooner. For the longest time, I was charging $100 per email. Now, this is a good amount of money, but in order for me to get to $10,000 a month, at one point I was working with 5 to 6 clients and I was nearing a burnout. It was a lot. I was working almost nonstop, right? And this is not why I got into copywriting in the first time. I mean, yes, to make money, but I also wanted to travel. And so what I should have done sooner was either increase my prices, which allowed me to make, slightly more, but with lesser number of people, or better yet, to keep the same prices, but negotiate the revenue share with the clients because I was delivering results, right? And I could see how much money they were making. So the best thing would have been to negotiate some like 10% of the revenue share, which would allow me then have more money, work with less clients and not have a burnout. Right. So this video is getting way too long. So I'm just going to cut it short, but maybe it was helpful, maybe it wasn't helpful. I have so many mistakes that I've made that I can talk about. So if you want me to do that, let me know in the comments and I will create more videos in the future. That said, hopefully this sort of masterclass gave you a roadmap, step-by-step roadmap that you can follow and start your journey successfully in 2025. And remember, the pie is big for everyone. Everyone can be successful. All you have to do is start and not quit. And I'll see you in the next one.